Lloyd Vehicle Consulting t-shirts, mugs and stickers are now available. Please click on the Google link in the description below to purchase your very own. Good afternoon. Today is the 8th of May. This is part 4 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the Basingstoke Festival of Transport. I do apologise in advance if I get anything wrong, which is highly likely. If I fall over, if there's wind noise, and general kind of crowd disturbance, things like that. I'm afraid that's just the way that things go on this channel. Start off with this TBR. I think it's a Cerberus. It's got the weird little button for getting in. Round 97, 98, something like that. And of course it's got a beige leather interior with wood. Do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. Sorry, it's a Chimera, not a Sarah. I'm very bad with TBRs, viewers. I knew I was going to get it wrong, and I already have. And we haven't not even a minute into the video. It's Ford Anglia. Very late one. This is a 67 only. I mean, they went to the Escort in late 67, so it's a pretty early one. This is built at Hellwood. 1965 Morris Minor 1000. This has got the post October 64 steering wheel in it, which looks different from a lot of the earlier ones, which are sort of a free-spoke metal steering wheel. Very nice colour. Daimler V8 250, I think this is a 68. It's the last of the kind of Mark II Jaguar shaped cars to be made, and of course, yes, viewers, I think that is a beige leather interior. I do like Daimlers here, as they are more luxury oriented Jaguars aimed at the more discerning motorist. Let's have a look at some Cortinas. Many Mark II Cortinas. Is this a genuine Mark II registered Cortina? It's a very late one. 6970 registration, this one. It's a twin cam on it as well. Cortina 1600E, be around 68, 69. What's for sale? Very nice. Mark II Ford Cortina Crayford from 1966. This is a very rare car. This one's an auto, so to be very early Mark II. So it's on a D, so that's actually the first year they made them, 1966. This one looks a bit special. 1967 to 68. Cortina 1600 GT, I believe. No, hang on, 1600E. Why did I say GT inside then? This is a GT, it's a two-door. Yes, there we go, all the luxury bits on there. Including a rev counter. Smell that old car smell. Pristine. What is Pristine? Pristine is a 1968 two-door Cortina 1600 GT. That looks rather better than it did when it was discovered in 2005. (1967 to 68) Ford Cortina Mark II. It says GT on the back, but I'll just be careful, viewers, about these things. Oh, it is a GT. Essex Play. I wonder if Ford owned this themselves. Who knew? Right. Cortina Savage. Yes, please. These have the Essex V6 in them. Very quick. Only made, I think, sort of towards the end of Mark II production. So 68, 69 registration on this one. Quite a few Cortinas here today. This one's getting an F, so 67, 68. It's another 1600 GT, and this is another Cortina Savage. This is a two-door, a really late one, 1970 only on a J. And this one's got a 5-speed gearbox put in it. I presume it's a Type 9 or something. There we go, yeah. You run a Westlake cylinder head put in it. That is a quick car. Another Crayford. There's 2 Crayfords here. That's crazy. It's nice to see sort of people who own these really rare cars so willing to bring them to shows. That one's a 1300 Deluxe automatic. Another late one here, 1970 only, with of course the sort of vinyl interior. Let's try not to trip over anything, viewers. 1600E, another 1600E, a much earlier one here, 67, 68. Let's have a look at that dash. It's a sort of tyre spec Cortina wheel. Very, very nice, viewers. And what do we have here? Do we have another 1600E? We'll take a look at the back, shall we, before we get things wrong again. Yes, we do. It's another 1970. Someone there's a fan of Ian Seabrook's channel. There's the sticker over there. And there we are. This one's also had a 5-speed gearbox conversion. More MG goodness just over here. 1967-68. I think this is an MGC. Yes, it is. I actually got that right for once. With the bonnet bulge. Local plate here. It's a Southampton registration, actually, that. Austin 7 from the 20s. He's a very big friend in there. He's enjoying himself with a picnic rug. Got a Talbot. I don't know what this is. All I know is that Basil Brush is enjoying himself sitting on the front. Hello, Basil. Talbot 6, 1929. Irish plate. Talbot Darragh. Oh, viewers. 1972 to 73. Saab 96 V4. This is a real find. That is just amazing. What's this old car here? 1933, Austin Carlton 18.6. And it's for sale. There we go. There you are, viewers. Please contact Richard for further details. Richard December 2023. That is very, very nice. It's had it since 2014 apparently. 1965 MG Midget. This won't be a Mark 1 because it's got the later door handles on it. Maybe a Mark 2. I did drive one of these, but it's 68. The one I drove last year on second-hand classics. 1997, 1998 MGF. Is that a beige leather interior, viewers? Ooh, I do like a nice beige leather interior. Of course I do. That's just what happens, viewers. No, 2002 to 3 MGTF. This is Trophy Blue. It's similar to the one I drove in 2020 on No Budget Reviews. I think this is a TF135, but I could be wrong about that. It's not a 115 because those actually had black mirrors. An X350 Jaguar. Don't mind if I do, viewers. Oh, it's a soft. Oh. Move on. No, can't talk about that, viewers. Right. TVR Chimera, 1997 to 1998 registration. Is that TVR Griffith or something? I don't know. Not very good at this sort of thing, viewers. Ford Sierra switches in this one. It's a Griffith, and that's a Chimera. Excellent, we're getting better. Getting better, viewers. And this one's got a beige leather interior with wood. Do you like a nice beige leather interior? That one's about 99. Modern, I think it's a current generation Mustang. I've seen this at quite a few shows now, this one. 5 litre, of course, because most of this country, I think, are the V8s. With the rather large wheels on it. Over here in the shade is something very special. It's a Ford V8 Pilot. It's probably immediately post-war, this. Very, very, very nice interior. Was this the car that Dirk Bogarde drove in the blue lamp? Something like that, I think. Yeah, they were quite fast. They were built and sold over here, as well as in America, of course. So we've found some military vehicles here. It'd be remiss of me not to film them whilst I was here. Land Rover Snatch, which looks quite a modern one. I think there's loads of these used in Afghanistan, things like that. Big, massive Scamel thing. That is absolutely huge. I think it was used for towing or something like that. I think this is sort of 40s. Absolutely, utterly enormous thing. Barely fits in my screen. Another one of these Land Rovers, it's a Series 3, quite a late one, 83 to 84 registration. Although with the ex-MOD cars, sometimes the registration doesn't really actually apply to anything. It's sort of arbitrary. It's when they get sort of taken off out of duties. I think this is a Dodge. Yeah, it's one of these Dodge. It's a Dodge Carryall, I like to say. I'm very bad at this sort of thing. Because again, it's a sort of World War II era one. 1971-72. Land Rover Series 3, or the Series 2As and the Series 3s do kind of look a bit similar, so could be a Series 2A, I suppose. Another absolutely, utterly vast Scamel constructor. This one's a 1956. Absolutely, utterly enormous. Some Willis Jeeps here. Here's like Unimog again. I think we saw it at Popham. So about 78, 79. Again, I hope it's got a hood or something. If it gets rain, you just get wet, and extremely wet at that. But I suppose if you're in the military, you're a bit tough and you don't really care, do you? Oh, an Austin Champ. There's one of these in a film called Sitting Target, where it's driven by Oliver Reed, and it gets sort of into a chase with a Hillman Avenger. It's driven by, I think it's Ian McShane. But yes, Oliver Reed drives an Austin Champ. They weren't that successful actually, the Champs. They decided to go for Land Rovers instead. It's a big sort of Morris commercial thing here. I think this will be pre-BMC merger, which says a Nuffield product on the back of it. Massive, massive thing. Oh, a Scamel Commander. I don't know what year that is, but the thing you have to do to get up into the cab. And it's actually towing a similar type of thing. That's a Thornycroft Antar. Thornycroft were a local company to Basingstoke, but this car would have been, this truck would have been made quite locally to here. It's just bizarre seeing a sort of towing thing, towing another towing thing. Bit sort of meta there, viewers. That is just extraordinary. I don't really know anything about tractors, viewers, but we'll just film them anyway because probably some of you like them. Alice Chalmers Model B from 1948. Ferguson, not Massey Ferguson. This is a Massey Ferguson. 135, which is 67 if that plate is correct. An old Fordson. Another Massey Ferguson. 69, 70 registration. Old Ford. I used to see things like this when I was younger. Timmy the Tug. 1984 Lancing Bagnall trolley thing. Wow. Used at Basingstoke. Didn't realise they were actually. They were made in Basingstoke, these Lancing Bagnalls, but it says Lancing, Bagnall, Basingstoke and London. So there we go. Another Massey Ferguson here. Ferguson, Q plates, who knows? What is this? I don't know, I've ever seen that logo before. That's interesting. Ooh, it says, oh, it's a Fordson, okay. Tractors help. That's a very weird looking tractor. County 754. Manufactured in Fleet, that's very close to here as well. Interesting. Another county. It's 1174, built in 1979 in Fleet, so just up the road from here. I think it's probably 10 miles, not far. Another Series 3 Land Rover here. It's 88-inch wheelbase, this one. There's all the complicated transfer gears, which I don't ever understand myself. Interesting. So this is the stand of the Rotary Club, who are actually organising the day-to-day. They bought this very nice Triumph Stag along with white wall tyres. 75-76 registration. Sorry. Yes, 75-76 registration on a P. I haven't seen one in this interior colour before. This one's an auto. See Mark II. Yeah, that's very nice. So we've reached the commercial vehicle section of the show now, viewers. This could get quite bad because I don't really know much about old commercial vehicles, but we'll try our best. This is a Thornycroft Nippy. I don't know what year that is because there's a form to fill in, but this one's not really filled in. Who knows? Ford V8 Pilot van. Mansbridge and Company. So it's immediately post-war, that one. I'm not sure though. Another series. Wow, it's the Land Rover from Land Rover Series 3 from Rosemary and Thyme, the actual one. Wow. Crazy. I've watched a bit of that. It's not really my kind of show, viewers, but it's nice to see cars using television programmes actually here. Oh, it's a Thames, yes, it's a Thames E83W, a snappy name, from 1954. For the sort of Thames vans that were based on things like the Mark II Zephyr and Zodiac came out. Bedford J1. I'm really bad at this sort of thing. I shouldn't maybe even go around this section in a way, but I will because we're here. Ooh, Bedford HA van, HA 110, with sort of HC Viva bits in the interior. That's so 77 actually. That one is local plate, sort of Southampton registration, AA. Morris O-Type, Morris Minor style pickup. I don't think Minor was used for commercials. I think it's called the O-Type or something, but I'd be wrong about that. 1983 Land Rover Series 3 short wheelbase. Or it could be 84, it is an A. 1967 Chevrolet C10. I don't know, viewers. Pass. Yeah, 67, good. It's 1965 Chevrolet C20. Something like that. 1940 Chevrolet commercial vehicle thing. I think we've seen this. It's at Popham actually. This vehicle data sheet, excellent. 1995 Chevrolet Astro, all-wheel drive. Very good, viewers. So not completely ignorant, but just only marginally.
That's why they're in the garage.
Is this some kind of Ford AA assembled in Canada, delivered to the Falkland Islands, found in Port Stanley in 1974. Wow. Morris commercial from 30s, I imagine. Snook Transport Limited, another kind of local company. I've seen this before as well, this Willis, which maybe the year is imported, sort of 79, but definitely a lot older than that. The old days when we used to import something, they used to just slap the plate that you could write in the country on it. 1966, Land Rover Series 2A, and it's still got the headlights in the middle. This is a later Series 2A with the wings, with the headlamps in them. Ask me to tell the difference between a Series 2A and a Series 3 if it's got the headlamps in the wings, and I don't really know. Chevrolet Caprice Hearse. Where have I seen this before? I've seen this before somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where I've seen this, somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Wow. Got some big old trucks here. Thames Trader, I think that's probably from the 50s, 60s. Bedford TK, these came out 59, I think. But they were made for a long time after that. Big, wow, brand new big Scania thing. I had to move back a bit because I can't actually see. Big Scania thing. Another big, massive Scania thing. Oh, a Ford Cargo. I haven't seen one of those in a while. The 86, 87 registration. What is this? The Judd lorry. I don't know what that is. Foden. Move back a bit again, get too close, can't see it. International, it's about 1971, 72. Scania, early mid 90s. Foden, a very late one. I think Foden went out of business about the same time it was made. It's about 2002. Seddon Atkinson, another company, no longer with us. Big Renault Magnum, 1995-36. Another Seddon Atkinson here, Seddon Borderer, 1968-69 registration. A Scamble Highwayman built in Watford with a really strange thing on the back. I do apologise for the vibration, dear, as I forgot to put my phone on aircraft mode because I'm an idiot. That's interesting on the back of here. That looks like an interesting thing to go in, but I don't think we have time today, unfortunately, so we'll have to keep walking straight into the AA stand with their historic fleet. Now, Alex from the Alex's Assets channel has actually done a video on some of the historical AA collection because they're based actually locally here in Basingstoke, and got things like this Mark II Escort vans, late one, 79 to 80 registration. Still got the Mark 1 rear body, but it's a Mark II because they just kept it to the estates of the vans. Minivan, quite an early one. It's house style door handles, exposed hinges with the sliding windows as they all were up until the end of production 82, as well as the painted grille. Series 1 Land Rover, it's a very early one. It's got the grille over the headlights. Mind you, you'd be pretty happy to see that if one of those turned up. You'd be pretty happy about that. It can save you from your broken down doom. Bristol Bathroom Company. I think I actually bought flipping buses here. That's crazy. I think that might be a Leyland Lynx, but I might be wrong about that, viewers. We're getting very dodgy here in terms of my knowledge. 1987 to 88 plates. That one, I don't know. Bedfords, I don't know. 40s. Again, don't know. Mervyn's Coaches, they're a local company to Winchester, actually. That's probably why they bought such a fleet here. Winchester's not very far away. Another one of those. Who actually put their card on there? That's great, bit of advertising. Bedford Duple, I don't know. Bristol ECW, I don't know. That is 67, 68 plate. Is this another Bristol? I don't know, viewers. It's I shouldn't really be looking at this stuff, should I? Because I don't know anything about them, so maybe I shouldn't be here. We will go back to the front. These look like they're sort of similar, these two. I feel like I'm at the Cobham Bus Museum. Oh, it's an AEC. Okay, they're both AECs. AEC something. Not sure. Not a Route Master. Not a Route Master. A Route Master. I remember these actually being en route to about 2003, I think it was. An open platform. A bit chilly in the winter. More bus action here. Dennis, low line. Interesting. Again, I have to move back. Fortunately, it's cooled down a bit, viewers. I don't have to walk around in all the sort of heat too much. There you go, that's a little wasteful over there. Typical. Some modern Volvo trucks. A Freightliner. It's an 88, 89 registration. I don't know if that means anything particularly with that one. Another one of these Bedfords. It looks like the same front end really as that one is on O type or M type or something. I don't know. This, absolutely no idea. Big crane thing. AC Mammoth Major. Well, that certainly is mammoth, isn't it? Oh, this white. Now I saw this actually at Popham, I think. White Road Command 2. How exciting. It's be about 82, 83, something like that. That one, no idea. This one, oh, it has got a registration on it. It's a local one, oh, TR. 85, 86. Right, let's find some other stuff over there. So 1967, 68, bus of some description, one of those Green Line buses. Another Route Master here. I don't know what this is. This is the AEC. It's got sort of Harrington bodywork on that. One of these RMC Route Masters with the Green Line ones. 67 Route Master, this one. It's funny they've got this sort of reupholstered seats put in these. 66 Route Master. Oh, some emergency vehicles, including this Volvo fire engine that I saw it pop and flying last weekend. Originally stationed in Winchester, which is why I might have seen this when I was growing up. There we go, yes. Winchester, February 1989. One of these Dennis ones. So it's 81, that Dennis there. I think this is it's a Bedford, I think this one. The 85, 86, it's very fashion for 85, 86, isn't it? 2002 Mercedes Atego. Leyland 180 Turbo, something, who knows. Another Dennis, it's a bit of an early one. 1967 to 68. If we look down back inside of this, it might tell us a bit more. Doesn't say. How interesting. Forward Control Land Rover, is this? By Carmichael. Builder of many fire engines. 1976 registration. Dennis Sabre, 2001 plate. It's actually a Bournemouth plate on this one. Vauxhall Brava, sort of based on an Isuzu, I think.
You were being told quite
Interesting.
strictly, I don't want to
Bullnose Morris here. Be sort of early 20s. That looks like Bentley. What Bentley is this? It's a 3.5 litre Derby, 1935. Interesting, yeah, the Derby Bentleys. They were made after Rolls-Royce took over the company. MG, it's a very, very big MG, this one. 1936 MG SA Sports Saloon. Forgot MG sort of built cars of this size. Clearly they didn't just make little sports cars. Austin 7, about 1930 or thereabouts. 1916 Ford Model T with the nightmare gears. 1936 Austin 10 for Sherborne Saloon. You can tell it's a 10 rather than a 7 because it's got 4 doors. 1936 Austin 10 Colwyn Cabriolet. 1928 Austin 7 Chummy. 1935 Austin 10-4 Clifton. Of course, the Tories didn't have the 4 doors, just the saloons, but look at that very nice interior with dicky seat. Morris 8, not Series E, so it'd be pre-38. Another Morris 8 here. Clearly they made both 4-door and 2-door models. Austin 7 here, Charlie. Hello, Charlie. And Ford Model A pickup. Right, viewers, we're going to put the pace a bit around here. If you have any chance at all of getting through the rest of the cars that are here, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video and leave a comment below. It all really helps out. Yes, it's ever so much appreciated all of you watching.